Alright, y'all, so I'm here for Black Ink Crew Chicago, Season 3, Episode 13. Let's talk about Van and Jen first, just to get them out the way since they cannot go on the Cabo trip. So they meet up for lunch or whatever after, Van blew up on her in last week's episode about the nip slip on Snapchat and, them getting into it at the shop or whatever. So it's a lot of awkward silence or whatever. Jen is still pissed off at him about the shit. He takes responsibility for his actions and, he takes his anger out on her because of the fact that he's still dealing with this parole situation and it's not right or whatever and she doesn't deserve that. He just feels guilty because not only does he have to deal with it, she has to deal with it too because she's his girl and everything, and it prohibits her from being able to do certain stuff as well, such as going on the Cabo trip and everything. So Jen is pretty much happy or whatever at this point, because she's like, it usually take Van weeks before he gets over some shit, but by the fact that he, called this meeting within like a couple of days or whatever, she was like, she's very happy about that. So they're good again. Let's move on to the trip. So, as soon as they get into the house or whatever, Charmaine starts twerking like she always does and showing her tits and all this other shit and everything. Next thing you know, everybody is, at the pool, their pool side and everything. And they're having a good time until Lily's stupid ass pushes Ryan in the pool. And Ryan has on a cast or whatever, which he tried to say in the last episode that it was due to, a kid's party. But, Van shaded him in the confessional and was saying, Rachel did that shit. But anyway, so yeah, she pushes him in the pool or whatever. Everybody like, girl, what the fuck? Why would you do that? You know what I'm saying? He's pissed off or whatever. Rachel is trying to kind of help him out. He's pushing Rachel, and Rachel like, well, why the fuck you pushing me for? Like, what the hell did I do? You know what I'm saying? Nikki is like, girl, we all are finally getting along, and you do this shit. Like, are you dumb? So then, because I think Ryan had like his phones in his pocket or whatever. So Lily is like, he act like he can't buy a new phone. Like, I mean, yeah, I'm pretty sure Ryan can afford to buy himself a new phone, but you the one who pushed him in the pool, so your ass should be buying a new phone. And don't sit up here and act like phones are just cheap. Regardless of the fact whether he could afford to buy a new one or not, it's the motherfucking principle, alright? Like, she just... Y'all know I don't like Lily. I do not like her, okay? So, Rachel is telling her, like, he has a fucking cast on, you dumbass bitch, okay? Like, pretty much that's what she wanted to say. Like, he has a fucking cast on. Why would you do that? You know what I'm saying? And, Lily is claiming that she's trying to apologize or whatever. And Rachel is like, I ain't hear an apology yet. And I'm with Rachel like, bitch, you ain't apologize. You still making justifications for your actions like you always do. You can't admit when you wrong. You wasn't like, when did the apology come? Because nobody heard it. Nobody heard it. Nobody heard you attempt to apologize. All you doing is sitting up here saying this, that, and the third about him, how he getting mad over some stupid shit and blase, blase. So later on, Ryan, he comes back. His cast is, soaked or whatever. And, Charmaine is being funny, trying to set some ground rules or whatever. She's saying, everybody has to fuck their significant other every day, this, that, and the third. And then she was like, in another rule, y'all ain't gonna be breaking no shit up in here. So, Ryan, he apologizes, because he had broke the door earlier on, or whatever, and he apologizes for that or whatever, and he was like, but I mean, what else do you want me to do when motherfuckers done soak my cast and shit? And so Lily is like, I mean, how was I supposed to know? I never had a broken bone. Okay, I never had a broken bone either, but I have the common sense to know not to push nobody that has a cast on their arm in the fucking pool. Like, who does it? Who pushes somebody that's injured in the fucking pool? Like, that's just fucking common sense. You feel what I'm saying? But I guess common sense ain't so common when it comes to this broad. But anyways, so Ryan is like, what they gotta do with it or whatever. And Lily is like, you're acting like a princess right now. And they all like, ooh, you know what I'm saying? And Charmaine shading him in the confessional. And she's shading Ryan in the confessional or whatever, talking about some, no, Lily. He's a Nubian queen. Get it right. So, Ryan, he's grabbing Lily's face like this or whatever and was like, listen, you tried to tell me that shit earlier and I told you we ain't got nothing to talk about right now. So Rachel is telling him, like, Ryan, don't do that. Like that's out of line right there. And I'm glad that she did tell him that because, like, yeah, don't put your hands on her face like that, Ryan. You know what I'm saying? I understand you pissed off or whatever and she not getting it. But, yeah, don't do that. So Junior, he's getting aggravated and he's like, look, we're on vacation here. Fuck all the bullshit. Let's have fun. Whatever. So the next day, Lily decides to cook breakfast. And, to pretty much make up for everything, she was like, that she was drunk or whatever. And I'm like, huh, of course, you're always drunk. But anyway, so, she was like, I was drunk and being stubborn and I didn't want to own up to anything. And, she finally talks to Ryan and really apologizes to him or whatever. And he's, over it. He's like, look, we're here for vacation. It's cool. We good. So Charmaine, she brings up the fact that she wants to do some couples games on this trip or whatever, and Junior is like, I'm single, and Nikki is like that him and Lily are full of shit because they all heard it go down last night and everything, and they show a flashback of Lily getting some handcuffs from off the table or whatever, and everybody looking like, what the fuck going on here, So then Charmaine is asking, Lily, would she fuck Junior again? And she's sitting here talking about something, I can't really say or whatever. And Junior is like, yeah, that's because your ass ain't drunk right now. So then Don arrives, because if you guys, remember in the last episode, Don said that he couldn't go because of Ashley with, her pregnancy and everything. And, Ashley decided to, let him out by himself on good behavior. So, yeah, everybody is excited about that or whatever and, shocked at the same time. Like, what? So, Kat and Danielle, they're getting into this car or whatever. They're about to show up on the trip, but Kat is under the impression that it's just a girls' trip only. And so then Danielle, as they're in the car, she confesses that, well, I kind of lied about it being the girls' trip. Everybody's going to be there. And Kat is like, girl, what the fuck? My situation with Ryan and everything. And see, that motherfucking Danielle always like to stir the motherfucking pot. She always like to stir the motherfucking pot, but then when shit goes down, she's sitting there looking stupid. So, anyways, we're back at the pool or whatever. Rachel and Nikki, they're having their own conversation, and then Four and Ryan are having their own conversation. So Rachel is asking Nikki, how are you and Four or whatever. Nikki is saying that she still wants the key to his house or whatever. And, Rachel is like, men take their time and, this, that, and the third. And then Rachel talks about, her and Ryan's history and how, at one point they weren't on the same page about getting back together. But it's finally good that now they're on the same page and everything. And, Ryan is, like I said, he's talking to Four or whatever, and Ryan is like that he's ready to marry. He's ready for marriage with Rachel, and Rachel is on the same page as well as she's talking to Nikki. So everybody is making fun of Don or whatever, and they still, like I said, they're still shocked that Ashley sent him out there by himself or whatever. And, Four is asking, Rachel, would you send Ryan by himself? And Rachel claims, their situation isn't like Don's situation. And I was like, I really felt bad for her in that moment because I'm just like, ooh, she really just don't know what's going on right now. But, and Charmaine saying the same thing in her confessional, like, bitch, you that's what you think, but you don't know what we know. You know what I'm saying? So then we finally get Danielle and Kat showing up or whatever. It's, mixed views about Kat being there. Some people are excited to see her. Other people are kind of like, what the fuck is this bitch doing here? Ryan, he makes shit so obvious. He gets up and walks out. You know what I'm saying? And Nikki, she come with the bullshit or whatever, talking about some. I thought this was a 9 mag couples retreat. And Kat is like, I mean, girl, what's the issue? Like, you still harping on some old shit. Like, get the fuck over it. You know what I'm saying? And she's asking Nikki, like, are you a tattoo artist or whatever? And Nikki is like, no, but clearly you're not 9mag anymore. And I'm like, girl, you're not 9mag either. You're just fucking one of the employees. Like, get the fuck out of here. So anyways, Kat had called her a bitch in the midst of the conversation. So Nikki is like, I know you ain't just call me a bitch. Like, you remember what happened the last time or whatever. And they showed the flashback of when they was on that rooftop. What was it, last season or whatever? And, Nikki kind of snatched Kat or whatever. So, Kat is like, well, bitch, do it then. Like, what's good? So then, there's a bunch of yelling going on, and Charmaine tells them to shut the fuck up or whatever. Like, it's gonna be nothing but good vibes over here. You know what I'm saying? Like, it don't matter who's here at this point. So Don, he pulls Four to the side or whatever, and, Four is like, that shit is super awkward, and what the fuck was Danielle thinking, bringing, Kat or whatever to this trip, and, I only feel some type of way because of how she came at Nikki or whatever. I guess when, Kat had, sent the flowers that Four had sent to her, to Nikki. I guess he was talking about that situation or whatever. So, but if you wasn't doing the shit you was doing, you wouldn't have nothing to worry about. I'm just saying. But anyways, he was like, and I know Ryan don't need none of that Kat drama or whatever. So, then they talk about how Ryan got up from the table or whatever. And Don is like, Ryan is only going to make shit worse if he keep on thinking that he can run away from this situation with Kat. So later on, they're at the beach or whatever. Nikki, he's talking about, Ryan drooling over Kat or whatever because, Ryan was just staring into Kat's direction. You know what I'm saying? And Nikki was like, like, really? You know what I'm saying? So, like, pick your mouth up. Like, But anyway, so they're doing, like, this couples game or whatever where, people where the game where you have to answer questions about each other or whatever. So Junior is supposed to be Lily's partner and everything, and Lily don't want Junior by her. She's kicking him, and Lily walks away and she gets another drink, and she goes to sit by Kat and Danielle. And Junior is like, listen, let's make shit clear. We ain't shit to each other or whatever. Like, I'm tired of being her motherfucking punching bag. Like, 1 minute is this, the next minute is that. I'm over it. So he leaves. So, they don't even finish the game. Charmaine was over it. You know what I'm saying? Just Lily was doing the most or whatever. So, Charmaine was just over the fucking game. So then, Rachel and Ryan, they go on their own little separate date or whatever, and Rachel is just bigging him up about how amazing he is, and I'm just like, shit gonna hit the fan next week. But anyways, like I said, she's sitting up here saying how amazing he is and all this other stuff, and like I said, I felt kind of bad for her because this is like, you be sitting up here bigging the nigga up, especially if you been through some shit with the nigga and everything, and y'all had to step away from each other for a minute, and then y'all come back and he's still doing, you thinking that he done changed or whatever, and he come to find out he's still doing the same fuck shit, and now you looking stupid because you been bigging him up on, this supposed change, and he still got you out here looking stupid. Like, yeah, I felt bad for her in that moment. But anyway, so back at the house we have Kat, and she has to talk to Charmaine and Danielle. So, she was like that, about Ryan. So she was like that Ryan, was denying about getting back with Rachel or whatever when them two was talking or whatever. And, how he had feelings for her and all this other stuff. And she says how the lake house was a mistake and how she was drunk. I was like blaming on the alcohol. That's pretty much what she was doing, you know what I'm saying? And, how she feels terrible and all this other stuff. And, Ryan was calling her saying how she could come home and everything. And Ryan has been texting her this whole time or whatever, and Charmaine talking about something. She done lost all types of respect for him because he's sitting up here trying to play this family man, but yet he's still up in, Kat's messages or whatever. So she's, Kat is sitting up here saying how she can't even look Rachel in the eye and how she thinks that she needs to say something to Rachel or whatever. And I'm just like, oh, Lord. Like I said, the shit gonna hit the fan next week. We gonna see that shit next week play out. But anyway, so later on, Velvet with her con artist ass, she shows up or whatever, and she changes into her stripper clothes or whatever, and Cobra is like, I can't wait for the guys to see what she's working with. I said they already know. Like, I'm really mad that ain't nobody put her on game about this bullshit with Velvet. Like, they fucked up for that, especially Junior. Yeah, let me get on Junior for a second. Since I didn't review last week's episode, Junior, you're fucked up because you sat up here and, like I said before, ran the guilt trip on Cobra or whatever about how she supposed to be your homie or whatever, and made her tell you what the deal was with Lily and Old Boy and everything. And now that the shoe is on the other foot and it looks like Cobra is being played, you don't say shit. Like, you fucked up for that. You real fucked up for that shit. You feel what I'm saying? Like, but anyways, I just had to say that for a minute. But anyway, so, 4, he's feeling kind of awkward because Cobra is there, you know what I'm saying? And then, Nikki is there. So Nikki, she's getting annoyed or whatever because, Velvet is in, 4's face or whatever, shaking her ass and everything. So, Nikki is like, can you not shake, your ass in his face or whatever, this, that, and the third. And, Velvet is like, I'm not shaking my ass in his face. Like, what are you talking about? So, they both start getting crunk or whatever. Cobra got to hold back Velvet. Don and 4 got to hold back Nikki and everything. And I'm just like, Nikki, this insecure shit that you doing, it's just, it gotta fucking stop. Like, you're sitting right the fuck there while this girl is stripping. Like, you're sitting right there. So, like, I can't, y'all. I can't. So, like I said, everybody trying to hold them back from fighting or whatever, and that was the episode. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I don't feel like, I feel like shit is really going to hit the fan next week's episode. You know what I'm saying? This was just the quiet before the storm. You know what I mean? But anyways, make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. Make sure you guys come back, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace out.